votes. As I understand it, the British Prime Minister has called an election. I welcome that. Our people have been on the doorsteps. We've been preparing for this election. I like elections. You get to meet people, you get to get out of the office, you get to get on the doorsteps, you get to listen. And the feedback we're getting is about the peace process, about the Hillsborough deal, policing. A lot of people worried about the economy, understandably, jobs, health, and in different constituencies, big issues around housing. And the support our party has, of course, but we're a United Ireland party. People wanting to endorse that. So we don't take anything for granted. We fight for every single vote. And let me say this, most people aren't born unionists or born Republicans. So I would like to ask those who would see themselves as, I suppose, unionists with a small u, to consider their future, to consider what the union actually means. What has it done? But what has it done for the people of the Lower Shankill, for example? What has it done for people in Ballymena? And to consider, just to consider, in the debate that's coming up, listening to what Sinn Fein is saying and looking at what Sinn Féin's about.
Gerry, do you think that recent media reports about yourself will affect you and will affect the party? Your electoral...
Well, I've made the point that you can't take any of this for granted. But it has not come up on the doorsteps, and we've been on the doorsteps. And we'll know on May the 6th. This obviously is us looking endorsement of all that we've done, but it's also looking to the future and all that we want to do in the time ahead. It's about leadership. And I leave that to the voters to decide.
Gerry, should he...
How do you view this election? It seems like it's going to be a very different election. Northern Ireland has been for a while. TUV are around for the first time. The Ulster Unionists are linked up with the Conservative Party. How do you view this election in general?
Well, I wish them all well, but I especially wish us well. And we want to get as many people voting for our party as is possible. And let's have a good debate. I mean, let's not just have this. And sometimes, if I may say so, the media falls into the trap of looking at it on the unionist side and looking at it on the nationalist side. Let's have cross-cutting debates. Health affects us all. Education affects us all. United Ireland will affect us all. There are issues here, people out of work, people facing into an economic recession, which we're told may get worse in this part of Ireland in the upcoming year. That affects everybody. Let's have debates on all of those issues.
Gerry, should an agreed union usually candidate emerge from the sector? What damage is that going to do to Michelle Gilder's chances of it?
Well, Michelle Gilder is the outgoing MP, and she will stand on her record. It's a very, very sound, solid record. She's also a minister who has delivered right across the north and across the island. So we don't fear anybody in this election. We're standing in every single constituency and we're standing to win.
And just further than that, should there be tactical voting from the unionist bloc and maybe south down? Could that damage around, maybe some would say further?
Well, again, we're running in all of these contests to win, and we have a good record. If it was left to the rest of them, children would still be persecuted with a decadent and totally outdated system which has been abandoned by states everywhere throughout Europe and even throughout these islands. So the Minister of Education has done sterling work in reforming, not just on post-primary, but right across the whole educational sector, reforming that so that we have a education system in which every child is cherished and valued.
Gerry, Emma was talking there about the dissidents. Do you think that they will hurt your message?
Not at all. And to tell you the truth, even though I don't want to avoid any questions, why should I talk about them? This is the Sinn Féin press conference. They want to have their own press conference. Let them have to go and ask them, go and invite them to answer those questions. We're not about damaging anyone. We're about going forward, by continuing the work which we have been involved in, and looking a mandate to do that in the upcoming period.
So you are likely dealing with the number 10, Mr. Brown,
Whoever the people elect.
What's your overview of take on Charter Shabbat with this
Well, Yanni Midge ar Nihil, by Midge in our house and Ahan Kiantar ar Fod and Jewish Kert, August Talana Borjanta Hugging, August Tayi Orin Alan Obar Ella Lianov, Tom Midge Lauren Taka, O Muncher and Stoit Shaw, August Tommy Master Assassin, and the figure Yum of a just a Draco and Maratasha, Tommy Master Assassin. Go Yanni Midge go Moise and Cahan Shaw.
Gerry, at No Town on Sunday, you criticised the Republic's government for their links with what you call the golden circle of cronies and developers. We had a pretty amazing interview on Friday night, which featured, accusations about the same sort of thing closer to home. What's your response to it?
Well, I'm not going to respond to the interview because people can have good interviews and people can have bad interviews, and I'm totally opposed to trial by media. But what I do know is this: there are processes for public servants and for public representatives if there are any allegations against anyone, and those processes should be allowed to bring and to come to their conclusion.
Should that process involve First Minister standing aside while those processes are looked at?
Well, whatever the rules are should apply, but whatever the rules, and whether it's under Westminster, unfortunately we're tied into Westminster for this period in our lives, whether it's at the Assembly, whether it's local council, there are processes, and let them apply. Let's remember that people are innocent until proven guilty. Having said that, Sinn Fein is also for the very highest standards, and that there is a need for public confidence. One of the concerns in this election may be with the disillusionment that some people may have in terms of expenses and all of the various scandals which have affected other MPs. So I would say to those people, this election is more important than that. This election, while it is about the Westminster Parliament, is essentially also about being able to endorse the work that's been done here, quite miraculous if you consider it, and look at the work which needs to be done in the time ahead, and then choose the party who can best accomplish what people want on all the issues on the jobs front, on the economy, on social and other issues, but also on the big picture issue of a peace process which cannot be taken for granted.
Okay, folks, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.